Today I'm speaking for a loving message for Massachusetts, my home for, believe it or not, 46 years now. Time flies, time rests on our shoulders, time gives us beauty, love, care, insight, along with challenges. And so maybe I'll cover both sides of that equation today when I lovingly speak towards Massachusetts, my great home for 46 years. And I have the backdrop of the New England Patriots just had their send-off from Gillette Stadium. What a sight it was, Mike Vrabel out there, coach without a jacket in 10, 15 degree weather, the spirit of New England on display. And surely I would begin with that place, the spirit of Massachusetts, and why, I believe it upholds a special place in America. In a lot of ways it's seen as the birthplace of liberty. Boston used to be known as the hub of the universe, the center in essence of the universe, Boston, Massachusetts. And we know that, in this 250th year of the celebration of America's founding, that Lexington and Concord, Massachusetts were the homes where the battles were fought, key battles were fought to begin our fight for freedom. And by the way, I'll interject that, no matter how flawed some would make America to be, I believe in one America. I believe our strengths outweigh our weaknesses, and that we need to go with that energy. And so Massachusetts has this special, I call it, so in the thumbnail I had like the heart of America. And so it's with a lot of love I say the things I am, this bit of encouragement for Massachusetts, because I've been here 46 years, as I say, and I've earned the right to speak to a few things that we can adjust, because it's tough. And by the way, I want to say that I've learned so much. I've grown, matured in Massachusetts. The challenges, often due to circumstances beyond my control that came my way, really taught me. I stood up. They toughened me. They gave me resilience. I learned, if you get knocked down 99 times, get up 100. And every time I got back up, I learned, to be wizened and stronger and more respectful, which is a key element of the lessons of Massachusetts that it's put on my shoulders. So it's with that kind of respect that I speak to Massachusetts. And now it's my turn to feed back a little bit, if you will. So, one of the things I see in Massachusetts, along with that basic resilience, that basic strength, is sometimes we go too far with that. And sometimes I think there's almost like, it almost goes back to, dare I say, there were Salem witch trials, 400 some years ago. And so there's a little bit of, and so you can understand why, there's a little bit of defensiveness. And what I'm getting at is a little bit of, fear-based energy underneath. Because why are people at times overreactive? Why is there fear-based energy? Or, why is there defensive energy? And that can be because there's a fear underneath. And it's because, in a way, Massachusetts is a small geographical state. And yet it's so intense. We have two of the top 5, or at least top, 5, 7 universities in the world, or 10 at least, Harvard and MIT, right in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And you go out west and you got a lot of other, academic institutions, UMass, Amherst, Williams, great school, so there's a lot of intensity, a lot of competitive energy in Massachusetts. And of course, that's one of the things I talk about with Gentle Genius Coaching. A better way is, you can compete without needing to rip someone's head off. And I think that's kind of the basic tenor of what I'm conveying to Massachusetts. That, because it's so competitive, sometimes the competitive spirit goes too far, or it gets ruthless in a way. That we, just have to, pull back a little bit, give people a little grace. I'm not saying not to be competitive. I love the competition. Competition's great. That's what I do. I'm a part of it. I'm just suggesting a better way. As Gentle Genius Coaching describes, it's a change in orientation. So it's keeping a great deal of that resilience and strength, and adding a little bit of patience, a little bit of care, a little bit of inquiry before jumping to conclusions. Maybe the last part of it I'll say is that, I dealt with it, due to circumstances beyond my control. I got pulled into 30 years ago into divorce setting. And I saw like the courts were just great. I'd been raised with a civil rights background, and so I had an ingrained sense of fairness. And the way the courts were going, and I wanted to protect my children, I just saw things were like out of whack. And, it's an area again where I say, look, Massachusetts has so much inherent intelligence. We have such a, interest in excellence that I think it's an area where, and by the way, when I mentioned the legal system, one of the main Massachusetts courthouses in downtown Boston is called the John Adams Courthouse, right? Talk about 250 years ago. It really links to, the history of this country. So what I'm saying is we need to take a little more inquiry. We need to slow down, have patience. And I'm having some noise outside, so I'm going to wrap up. But, just to have that kind of care and that sense of excellence from A to J to Z throughout. Take a look at the world's gentlegeniuscoaching.com website. You also got the World's Genius website. But take a look at the work. As I say, the Patriots are off in good style. There's so much toughness, resilience, foresight in Massachusetts. And I just want to add a piece of tempering a little bit. I was originally from Scranton, PA, and in my time, Scranton was known as the friendly city. So with my 46 years of Massachusetts, tenacity, I want to add a touch, I want to add a little friendliness to it. Because that's what we need, to keep that strength. And I think we don't take away from that strength. We add to the strength. We put a little compassion, a little calmness, a little add a bit of gentleness alongside that resilience. We can make sure we can restore Massachusetts as the heart of America. And there are other hearts. Pennsylvania's been good to me, Oberlin College, but Massachusetts can be a heart of America, and it can be maybe again the hub of the universe, because we've got that underlying strength, and we just need to add that little bit of gentleness, a little bit of calm to what we're doing, and then we're outstanding.